They spinning the block, I'm buying the block. They spinning the block, I'm buying the block.
Out the park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah. Been a road.
Man, today I got a real special DC legend, still building his legacy. Man, very happy to have Brendan here on the Changing Jewels on Curtbone TV, sitting here in the lifestyle lounge with my girl Monty. But man, without further ado, I want to introduce my man, Big Vernon Davis.
Appreciate you.
Man, good to have you, man. Good to have you, man. I'm glad you had time to make time, man. You said you was gonna come and see me. As soon as the opportunity came, man, you here, looking good, man. I don't know if I'm gonna introduce you as a model, football player. You act, you got a little rapping in you. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching you, man. But how you been going? How you been doing?
Good, man. Good. It's been a great journey for me. It's been almost 5 years since I left the game of football.
Yeah.
And just pivoting and just finding other things that I love and enjoy doing.
But you one of the few guys that I see you stay in football shape though. You personal training, you just work out. Is it what you doing? Is it natural gene?
No, I try to, that alarm go off. Like every morning I get up, I say, I gotta go to the gym.
Right.
And I just try to stay consistent with what I've been doing for, most of my life, and that's just staying in the gym, working out, living a healthy and active lifestyle.
Clean life and all that. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I know you're from D.C. What part of D.C.? What part of area you grew up in?
I grew up in the Petworth district of D.C., Northwest,
Okay.
Uptown.
Okay.
Is what everybody from D.C. call it. Uptown.
Right,
You either
yeah.
Southeast boy, Uptown boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't hard too loud. We got some uptown people here that happen to own the building that they remind you every chance they get, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where the Dunbar thing coming at.
Yeah.
Okay. How was your childhood life? Was mom and dad in the house or mom?
Childhood was it was tough, and that's why I brought my book with me.
Right.
To let everybody know they can pre-buy the book.
We'll talk about this playing ball. We're gonna talk a little about this. Is everything in the book? Definitely.
But yeah, life growing up was I grew up with my grandparents. My grandparents raised me and my 6 siblings. My brother Vontae, who played for 10 years with the Miami Dolphins, Indianapolis Colts. But we it wasn't easy. It was tough, growing up in D.C. at the time. I was born in 1984, so that was D.C. was really rough during that time, and I had to go through so many different things. I was arrested in 6th grade. I hung out with a bunch of guys that were pretty much negative influences for me, but at the time it felt good. It felt great. You didn't know the difference. You didn't know the difference. It felt like home. Being out, staying out at 12 years old to 3, 4 in the morning was normal. It was normal behavior. But I was able to really change my mindset and do things differently as I continue to get older.
That's good. So 6th grade, you was locked up. Man, ask what you was locked up for, 6th grade? You remember?
Yeah, just
truancy or
behavior, how it's just
mother had to come get you from the receiving home, basically.
Juvenile behavior.
Right.
Breaking into we broke into somebody's home and stole these miniature dogs, and the next time we had stolen cars.
Right.
And we had the master key, the GM master key.
Oh yeah.
Where we could just get in any vehicle that we wanted.
Yeah,
so
had
that
a little ring, a little baby ring, basically. Baby ring. God,
yeah, so just joyriding, having fun, and just being, kids. Pretty much.
Right. So I know you went to Dunbar High School to play high school football. Did you do any club ball before there?
Yeah, I played at Lamont Riggs.
Oh, you went Riggs.
Yeah,
okay.
I tried number 6, which was Uptown Northwest, and then I went over to Lamont Riggs and played for like a year or 2.
Man, you had another professional athlete in the house with you. Who was the best athlete, man, between you and your brother? They say cornerback's the best athlete,
but
man.
They say the oldest always pay the way.
Right,
paved the way. But Vontae was a great athlete. He could do some amazing things, and when he started to turn it on in 11th grade, he became like who we saw in the NFL. The guy that was jumping over Randy Moss and locking down Terrell Owens. He was that guy.
He was a dog.
Yeah, and I think it just came out. He was like the best cornerback for his generation.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like the best, one of the best. He had a high grade, and but yeah, he was a great player, great football player.
Damn. That's powerful, man. While I'm on your brother, one question for your brother before we leave. When he retired in the game, did you have any idea he was going to do that, or he just said he's made his mind that he was going to do that?
Actually, I didn't. I didn't know he was going to do it. He called me, and I was in the locker room. I was playing Washington Commanders at the time, and he called me, and I was sitting in my locker, and I was like, I'm getting a call from Vontae. He never calls me during halftime.
Right.
So I picked it up, and he was like, bro, I'm gonna retire. I was like, what you mean you gonna retire? Come on, man, you joking.
Right.
And he was like, he just wanted to walk away from the game, and we talked, and we had a chance to chat about, his reason. And at the end of the day, it's whether it was a good reason or a bad reason, you got to support your family.
Yeah,
you support your brother, and that's what I did. I was like, that's my brother. That's my blood.
Yeah.
So whatever he decides is cool with me.
That's definitely, and that blood brother came. He called you right while you was playing too. Like he wanted to get it right up, get it right to you immediately.
Yeah, and as you know, the long golf, my brother called me halftime. Yeah. I know it's something I got to pick up. I normally wouldn't pick up, but for family and friends, I know it's a reason they calling me because they know I'm playing the game too. So I had to pick up the phone and just be there for them.
Dang, okay, that's powerful. Yeah. Okay, yeah, man. So when you get Dunbar, you playing. I know do you keep an eye like on into how now the sports and all that? Do you keep how it's going now? Because my question when I'm asking because it kind of dropped off a whole lot since you guys was playing. And did you notice that, or you got an opinion why you think that?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I know there's different moments in generations and in life throughout time where there's going to be that shift, just like the stock market.
Right.
It's always changed. It's always drop off. So maybe it's just that time where a lot of the football players that we used to have are not coming around at the moment. But it'll shift again because I know when I was playing, there wasn't many people. There was Byron Leftwich. There was Josh Cribbs. But there wasn't many players that we could say that was really good coming out of Washington, D.C. During that time. But after I left, it started to click. It started to take off. You started to get Vernon Davis. It really has been. You had Joe Hayden. It was just clicking.
That DMV, far as that D1 in professional sports, it's crazy, man. It's like we a little bit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Far as D1 and everything. Yeah. You want everything. So you after high school ball, man. Did y'all go to Turkey Bowl?
We went to Turkey Bowl. I went to Turkey Bowl. I think 3 times that I played at Dunbar. 3 years that I played at Dunbar. Yeah, we won twice.
Oh, you won twice?
Yeah, I got 2 jackets.
Oh, you got 2 jackets. All right, okay, all right, man. All right, I'm gonna leave you alone on that one there, man. You got 2 jackets. I can't even mess with that right there, man. Why Maryland University? Why you select Maryland?
No, I wanted to stay close to home. I was always a mama's boy, so I wanted to stay close to my grandmother and just be there for her if she needed help with my other siblings. So I always figured, I always told myself, I said, look, if I stay home now, I know I'm gonna get drafted. I just had this strong determination and just very optimistic about what was gonna happen for me in the future. So I knew I was gonna get drafted, and then when I got drafted, I ended up going to San Francisco, and there it was.
Right. I seen you working out, man, somewhere. You was a young guy, man. I don't know why. I don't know what field, but I just seen you was by yourself though. You was young dude, working out, shirt off and all that. You looking like a motherfucking bodybuilder out there, joint, working out and all. And I always thought about that as I seen your, progression and the levels you was going to. I say, Shorty was self-motivated. You know what I'm saying? And before I leave Dunbar, man, a lot of people don't know you played on that basketball team with Trey Kelly and them, man. And I come in and you getting those strong rebounds, or you athletic and all that type of stuff, right? Yeah. I was telling Trey, I said, but y'all do anything in Dunbar to win, man. Y'all put my man on the football field and running shit over, man. But that's what's up, man. So in that football in that Maryland, man, when you transitioned to college, I have a lot of friends that played that's much older than you, obviously, my age, that played D1 football and D1 basketball. So we sit around just talking trash over barbecue, whatever. They always talk about the reaction to girls, to the people in the sports, right? And it seems like professional NBA players are way popular than NFL players in my mind because they don't got no cages on. But they say in college, they say it's different. They say in college the girls go crazy for the football players more than the basketball players. Could you speak to that, or what's your opinion on that? When you was in college, I don't know what your situation now, so we talk about when you was in college, though.
Yeah, I would say so. In college, I would. You know what? I think that's true because I remember like the basketball players trying to hang out with my teammates and I. I mean, it was always I don't know. It's just big. Like football is just big in college.
Right? Yeah.
The basketball is big too, but football's just bigger, especially depending on what school you go to.
Right.
But I know at the University of Maryland, it was we had a pretty good audience when it came to football.
Exactly. When you was playing what was the basketball team? Was that was That was after Johnny Rose and them. So who was Steve Francis?
Nah, we had Mike Jones. We had DJ Strawberry's son.
Strawberry, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we
had
had
that
them.
team right there.
Yeah, we had that squad right there.
That squad right there, okay.
I think Greeters had just left.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But they were pretty solid.
Yeah,
they were pretty solid.
Yeah, decent mob. Yeah, so now Maryland got our homie coaching up there, the head coach now. Had you followed his career or
Mike Loxley?
Yeah, what you think about that move, or what you think about we taking the program?
Yeah, Loxley recruited me when I was in high school.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm very familiar with him.
He's in New Mexico. Where's he at? Oh,
so he was at. So when he recruited me to Maryland, he ended up going to Florida as soon as I got there.
Okay.
Ron Zook.
Okay.
Then they left there and they went to University of Illinois, which is where my brother went.
Right.
And it really has been.
Right.
He had a bunch of DC guys over there that he was able to recruit. And after that, he ended up going to New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because they loaded Illinois up too. Yeah, so he been around the game for a long time.
Yeah.
What's the name? So yeah, I think I like what I'm saying. What he's doing. You know how I see the program going on. Hoping we can get that joint back all the way back up, man. Because they changed conference now. What they in?
Big Ten.
What you thought when they did that? What you thought about that?
You know what? I'm an ACC guy, but I understand the essence of business and doing things. Everything's not going to always stay the same.
Right.
So when they went Big Ten, I was like, it's actually a great thing because now the guys who stay home in this backyard, if they end up going to Maryland, they can play on a bigger scale, bigger level. And I like that, especially with my kids evolving and growing up and becoming young athletes.
Right.
I think it's a great opportunity for them to be able to just have the opportunity to stay home and know that they're going to play on a big level.
Right. I got you with that. When did Vernon know he's going to be a pro?
I knew I was going to be a pro since when I walked on the football field. So I went to Dunbar to play basketball.
Okay.
But I felt like there was something not right. Just something was wrong with what was happening. When I walked in the gym, I felt like they had their group already. So I saw it, I said, okay, this is going to be tough because I got to play. Alarm went off. I got to play right now. If I'm going to play basketball, I got to play right now. And I feel like there's something there. So I walked into the football office. Coach Craig Jeffries was in there at the time. And I said, can I try out? He said, what position you want to play? I said, anything that has to do with scoring touchdowns. So he said, okay. I went on the track, and I was just running by everybody. And I was already big. I was like 6'2", 6'3" at the time, 200-something pounds. So they was like, wow, this is crazy. So that year, I just took off, had offers from everybody. After that year, I said, I'm going to get drafted. I knew right then and there that I was going to get drafted because I had to make it because this is all I had.
Right.
And I wanted to change the dynamic of my family. I wanted to change what was going on. I wanted to be that example of guys in D.C. that grew up the way I grew up. I wanted to show them that they can make it. I wanted to be that example.
Right.
And I also had my brothers and sisters behind me, so I had to be that example as well. So I just knew I was going to make it. You know how I tell everybody the story. I didn't go to school for education. I went to school for football. I went to school for football, but I knew that I had to be excellent with my education the same way I was with football.
Right.
But that wasn't my driving force. Football was my driving force.
Right.
So I had to make it. I knew I was going to make it.
Damn. And I can hear your passion there, because that was my next question. Like, what did that passion develop for? Why you had so strong? Basically, seeing you working on that field at a young age, self-motivated. But now I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it in your voice now. I'm hearing the drive why I was there. You know what I'm saying? You in your environment, you seeing stuff, people before you, and you like, man, I'm gonna be a good shining light. Even to the day, like I say, man, you always the ultimate professional. When you see, you just look like you going place or you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. And then I ask you question, what's going on? You going to Africa to act, stuff like that, and it's your inspiration, man. I definitely got to do that, man. I'm a little biased with DC. People know that, but you somebody to be biased about, right? So so I just want to get that shout out right there, man. So man, you get drafted. Get drafted to the 49ers, right? Mm-hmm. When they called you on their phone, because they call you on the phone, let you know you already knew beforehand how that happened, how that draft thing go out. Yeah,
that's an interesting question, because a lot of people want to know that they may not know, but it's actually a cool process, because once you declare that you're going to the NFL draft, then you pick your agent and everything, you start training, etc. But during that time when you're training for the NFL Combine, you get a chance to visit with these different teams. It might be 3 or 4 teams. I remember going to the Jets, which had the 4th pick in the draft that year.
Okay.
in 2006. Then I went to Oakland. Well, I had a visit with Al Davis and the rest of their organization, and I had a chance to visit the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
So the teams that show that interest, you know those are the teams that's probably going to pick you.
Exactly.
You know, because you get that chance to sit there and you watch film of some of the players, some of the guys that's on their team already, like the tight ends and the wide receivers, depending on what position you play.
Exactly.
And I remember sitting there with those teams, and I could tell they really wanted me. So if the Oakland had a chance to, San Francisco had the 6th pick, Oakland had the 7th pick. The Jets passed by on me because their biggest need was an offensive lineman, which was DeBrickashaw Ferguson at the time.
Right.
So they didn't need a tight end. But if they needed a tight end, they probably would have took me with the 4th pick.
Right.
San Francisco came up before Oakland, 6th pick in the draft. They needed a tight end, so they took me. Oakland needed a tight end as well, but they didn't have the opportunity because San Francisco already grabbed me before they even had the opportunity.
Right. And even though you knew you was going, you spoke with them and all that, but when they called your name, how that feeling was?
Oh man, I'm sitting at the table. That phone when the phone rung, I knew they were up. As soon as the commissioner was talking, I knew San Francisco was on the clock. So I looked at my grandmother. I looked at my girlfriend Janelle at the time, who was the mother of my kids. And I'm like, they about to pick me. That phone rung. They had the old school phone on the table. It was started ringing. I was like, man, tears started coming down my eyes. My grandmother was excited. My granddad, he looked like he didn't know what was going on.
Right.
He just looked like he was just there for a wedding or something. I don't think he understood the I don't think he understood the essence of like what's about to happen.
Right.
Life is about to change right now.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like you hit the lottery or whatever, like it's about to change. But everybody's excited. But my granddad, he was excited, but he didn't show any emotion. And I just walked out, tears in my eyes, put my cap on, hit the stage. I'm like, man, it was like the most beautiful feeling.
Right.
You know, you get a lot of highlights. You get a few highlights in life like that if you make it, if you're willing, through the grace of God, to make it to the age of 30 and 40 years old. You see some highlights in your life. Having kids, my first kid was a highlight of my life. Let me start from the beginning. Getting a scholarship offer was a highlight. Going to college was a highlight. Being able to declare for the NFL draft was a highlight. Getting drafted was a highlight. Having kids was a highlight. My firstborn, that was a beautiful highlight. Making the Pro Bowl was a great highlight. So you get these highlights in life, and then you just keep going on and on and on, and you check those boxes. But as you get in those highlights, you think back subconsciously. Well, you think back and subconsciously, your brain, you always want to find those accomplishments and those highlights over and over and over again. That's one thing that continues to like really push me and motivate me to be who I am today with the with the acting and the music and all those things, because I'm searching for those highlights again.
It's interesting you say that, because I always say that you see a lot of guys, whether it be boxers, normally mostly boxers, they always unretire. It's like they looking for the roar of the crowd, and you kind of make me thought about that. Even though you set new goals and other platforms, other stages and all that, right? But it's like you need to, like you wake up, your alarm clock go off, like you already programmed. Like what's my next diploma? What's my next mission? You set missions and goals for yourself. Yeah, that's strong. That's strong. So yeah. And speaking of the rapping, man. I heard a little something, man. What made you grab that mic, though? What made you grab that mic?
You know what, man? I learned something, man, and I learned that. So when as I was growing up, my granddad was my granddad, but my biological granddad I never met. And I learned my junior year in college that my biological granddad was an artist. His brothers and sisters were musicians, and it was it's in my blood. And I took up that side of the family, and I guess as time continued to go by, I had this attraction and just this desire to be an artist, whether it was acting, painting, and creating music. And I just went with my heart. I tried to let my heart lead me in different directions, and that's what's been working for me.
Right. You sound tight. Did you feel like you can do anything though, right? Don't you? Is that you feel like you can't put your mind to, you can't do it?
I feel like I can try. Right. I don't feel like I don't know. We never really know what's going to happen, but we have the the belief and the what I can say, the optimism
Right.
to think that we feel like we can do it.
Right, you can do it.
You know,
right. You ain't scared of the moment.
You ain't
neither.
scared, right? You can't. That's the thing. You can't be scared. A lot of people never really see their dreams unfold because they're so afraid of what's going to happen.
Right.
They're so afraid of people talking about them on Instagram or whatever. But I'm just not afraid of what people think about what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It might not sound good to them, or it might not sound. They might not like it, but if I continue to keep doing it and I'm consistent and repetitive at it, some things are going to shift.
Right.
There's going to be some shift that's going to happen, and people don't understand that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I agree with that. I agree
You
with
know
that
what I
totally.
mean?
Yeah, I agree with that totally. You had a lot of teammates over the years, and I'm pretty sure you had made a lot of great relationships. But what's some of the close relationships you can think off your head for some teammates you met that became like brother? But I know all of it was a brotherhood, but someone you still in contact with today or got that type of relationship? Any teammate?
Yeah, that's a couple guys. I mean, like one guy, for example, is Frank Gore.
Oh,
He became my brother. Moran Norris became my brother. I cultivated a great relationship with DeMarcus Ware, Adrian Peterson, Peyton Manning. Like those guys became really, like we clicked and we synced, and I still text and talk to those guys to this day.
And like I said, one for I don't know if it was a year or two. I know at least 1 year. On 49ers, you had 3 DC cats: you, Navarro, and Josh Morgan. Like, how was that? Was y'all reminiscing about y'all making a statement for the area, or was just business as usual? Was y'all had a little karate with the DMV, or it was just business as usual?
You know, it was business as usual. You know what's funny, interesting about playing with guys when you get to the league that you grew up with? It's kind of like who we were when we were in D.C. We probably would have hung out more in D.C. because we were in D.C. But in the NFL, so many things changed between that time and as you grow into this man, and everybody got different things going on. Navarro got all his, he got 2-3 kids. I got my kids. Josh, he got other interests that he's into. So
makes sense.
We embrace and we love the simple fact that, man, I looked around. I remember looking around one day and I'm like looking at Navarro, I'm looking at Josh, I'm like, man, this is great. Man, I was like, this is a blessing, man. To be able to play on the team with guys not grew up with, but they come from my hometown. They come from my place. So I felt like I had to protect them and be there for them. If anything happened to them or anybody said anything or they need anything, those are my brothers. And I felt that way.
Right.
But even though we had different things that we were into and we didn't hang out as much as we could have or should have, they were still my brothers.
Right. Yeah, because of course I'm a Commanders fan. I only like the name.
Yeah.
But I'm a Redskin fan. I'm gonna stay with the Redskin, right? But y'all became another team I rooted for just because of that. Because it's like you had like a personal attachment
connection.
to it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That connection.
With the connection with the team like that, right?
Yeah.
What's the name? What's some of the coaches that whether it be the Commanders, San Francisco, Denver, with some coaches that you had a good father, almost like a father-son relationship with?
Oh man, Pete Hainer was my tight end coach. He was there since day one when I got drafted to San Francisco. He became my father, and we still talk to this day. Mike Singletary was another father figure. We had we had a situation on the field where he sent me to the locker room on national television, and that brought us together even more.
Right.
He's actually one of the guys who did the introduction in my book that comes out in August. But yeah, those two guys, those are the guys, man, that I really clicked with.
Right. And Mike Singletary, he don't use no time off. He fiery. On a regular interview, he's just fiery. Like he's a fiery guy, man.
He's a fiery guy, man. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a fiery guy.
He was a dog, though.
Oh, he was a dog.
He was a dog. Though.
Oh, he was a dog.
I mean, how they said the linebacker eyes, like he was a dog, man. The whole linebacker core he had, Wilbur Marshall, all them boys, man. Yeah, he was a dog. Mike Singletary. So the book is. I heard you say it's not out yet.
It comes out in August, but people they can go, they can buy, they can pre-buy it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. That's where it's being pre-sold there. That's what I'm encouraging people to do. To go on and try to get it right now before it comes out. It's a great read, man. I believe that it's very inspirational. empowering, uplifting. People can take a lot from this book, and they can learn a lot. They can feel inspired, and they can learn a lot of different things about me as well as themselves when they read this book.
Right. Now, how long it took you to put it together?
It took about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this company reached out to me, Kensington Publishing. They attached me with this guy named Omar Tyree, who did. It sounds familiar because you probably know Omar from doing the Mayor's book, Mayor Marion.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so he was on the other side with you.
They knew he was. He had a good feel for Washington D.C., so they partnered me with him, and we were able to come up with this book, man. And it's like you said, you were talking about Singletary before, and you mentioned how he was very passionate. He was good. So a lot of that, his passion, I could relate to that, and that's why we were able to connect. And in that book, you can hear him talk about me, about some of the things that I need to get better at. And I took probably all of his advice, and I put it into my career, and it made me a better football player.
That's crazy. So you talk about your grandfather early. Did you have a father in your life, or was your grandfather that male figure?
Well, I had my father in my life to a certain extent. My father lived around the corner from me. You know how it is. You meet the girl in the neighborhood, y'all click, she gets pregnant, has a baby. You know what I mean, kind of thing. My father lived around the corner. Every time I went home, walked out the door, I walk up the street, make that left, his house right there. He lived with his family members, his cousins and uncles. It was a bunch of guys in that house. So I walk by and say, "What's up, Dad?" Big Duke is what they call him. His name was Vernon, Big Duke. I'm not a junior. But I'm like, "Dad, what's up, Pops?" He's like, "Hey, son, have a good day, son." And that's all it really was. And every time I go outside that door, I always searching for my father, and I would see him, and I interact with him, but I never really spent the night with him. He never came to a football game. He was just my father, but I respected him. I looked up to him. I never had anything bad to say about my dad because I loved him, and I still love him. Even though he wasn't there as much as he should have been or could have been, I still, I'm still excited to call him my dad and say that was my pops. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I learned some stuff from him, and some of the things that I went through with him not being around as much, it forced me to be a better father for my kids. Not only that, but it gave me it lit some fire under me to be a better human being and to achieve an ample amount of success. Even when I'm acting or whatever I'm doing in life, I hold on to that feeling of not having my dad as much as I wanted him. And it caused me to really excel at certain things. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, that's unique.
So I hold on to it.
That's unique because a lot of people go the opposite direction. You the type, you take lemon and make lemonade. You know what I'm saying? What's the name? Yeah. That's unique, man. That's a powerful perspective, man, because a lot of people use situations like that, and I'm not saying they right or wrong, but they use that to sometimes justify their shortcomings or why they didn't make it. What's name? But you took it and say, man, I'm gonna make the best out of a situation that could have been possibly looked at as negative, or what it was. So that's powerful. You still showing love for another black man like that, because man, we know a lot of that is like we heard that story a lot. So, unfortunately, man. So it's good. Speaking of your kids, how many kids you got?
I have 3 kids, 9, 12, and 16. Gianni's actually playing football right now. He's 16. He's gotten about 4 scholarship offers.
4 scholarship offers. Which position?
At the moment. Tight end, defensive end, but I think he's a better defensive end. I mean, the way he comes off the rock, he's pretty explosive. He's good with his hands. He has a knack for getting to the ball carrier. Right. Whoever has that ball in their hand, he knows how to get to him.
Yeah, he get there. What's his name? Yeah. Well, how tall is he?
Johnny right now, he's about 6'2", 220 pounds.
He's still growing there. He's
still growing.
16.
Yeah, he's still growing. Big hands. He got big old hands. Yeah. Big legs. His legs bigger than mine.
You give him that speed. That speed.
He's working on the speed. I think he's gonna grow. He has good speed. He can definitely get better at his form at running, because there's mechanics to running, and I try to tell him chin the pocket. That's how I was taught as a track runner and as a runner. Always chin the pocket. That's because it allows you to be able to be that explosive runner that you can be when you able to get there quick. You know what I mean? A lot of kids, they go wrong when they try to come all the way up here and they go all the way here. It takes long to get into your stride when you do that. So chin in the pocket is always key.
Right, little track tricks right there, huh?
Yeah.
Little track tricks right there. That's crazy. That's crazy. So man, acting. You start acting. How many movies you was in? How many plays you was in?
Man, I've done quite a few films. A lot of the films are good. I feel like they're good, and I mean it's all on your opinion. A lot of people might like the film. A lot of people may not like the film, and that's what I hear when I get the feedback. Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. But to be able to have a presence and be able to just like say I'm going to do something and I accomplish it is a great feeling. And you know, I'm very proud of myself for being able to just take a chance like that, because that's a big chance to be able to go from football and to walk into acting. But it hasn't been easy. I mean, I thought when I left the game, I thought I could just walk off the field and just, hey, put me in this movie, I'm ready to go. No, it don't work like that. It's a lot, man. It's a big process, man. It takes a lot of work to be able to become a character, because you have to. There's so many different things you have to do when you create this character and you become this guy that's on a piece of paper. You have to give them a backstory. You have to really figure out what the people in this text and throughout these 90 pages are saying about this character, because you got to get those clues about who this character is, as well as what you're creating. You have to have a scene objective and overall objective of what's happening. And when you break down this character, you want to pretty much use the words. You want to really connect with those words, paraphrasing, emotional statements. You want to really like put your own words. Okay, what would you say after this emotional statement? Your movements. I know it's a lot, but all of this stuff goes into like creating this character, and and that's just one text. That's just one little sentence that you got to put all that.
Let you ad lib any, or
you can ad lib. Most directors, they're really good about you being able to ad lib and change the words a little bit, but within context of what's happening. Right. You know what I mean? So, but it's cool. But as long as you fill in those words, you're on track.
So you played the movie as a serial killer and an African character with Morgan Freeman. What's the name of that movie?
It's called The Ritual Killer.
The Ritual Killer. And you was a serial killer.
I was a serial killer.
How many bodies you had in this?
Man, I did. Well, in the movie, you probably see me kill about 3 or 4 people, but over time, this guy's killed a lot of people, man.
Oh, yeah?
His name's Rendoku, man. He was just like that character was an interesting character, man, and what I was able to give him added to his presence in that film.
We'll get Curtbone on TV, so let's hear some of the accent, man. Give us one scene or something there, man.
There's a scene with Morgan Freeman where I walk up to him and I tell him, because Morgan Freeman was a college professor. Okay. And he was dealing with Cole Hauser in the film, and those two were trying to solve the mystery and trying to solve the clues of who I really was and why I was killing all of these people, right? So I go to him, I meet him, and he opened the door. He turns around, he sees me standing at the window. He's like shocked that I'm standing there. So I turn around, I go up to him, and I say, Gilapa, Kokuzito Bamusa, Ukusiza, Lelepoiza. Which means, when I'm telling him, please do not go to the policeman any further. In my dialect, that's how I would talk in the film.
And you get to that cold like that calm, that cold.
Yeah, but throughout the film, you see my dialect, and then I changed everything about how, just how I'm talking, how I'm speaking. Right. But I had to get with a dialect coach to learn how to speak like that and do all that. Damn. All those different things. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what's some of your favorite movies you like to watch?
I like to work. I'm a big action guy. I used to watch a lot of action films with my granddad when I was young, like Bruce Willis, Die Hard, and I had the great opportunity to do 2 films with Bruce Willis, A Day to Die and Gasoline Alley, 2 films on Amazon and Hulu. I know I did. I told you I've done. Like, hey, you work with Bruce Willis too.
You said it normal. Like I work with Curtbone. That's Bruce
Yeah,
Willis.
Yeah,
you did.
But nah, he was. We know what he's going through with his ailments and everything that he's trying to figure out right now. With this disability. But my heart goes out to Bruce because he's a great human being. But to be able to like share time with him on set, get to know him, and just see the way he approaches the craft. Even though he's going through what he's going through, he was still bringing it, man. And to be able to, he was still bringing it on.
And I've been all day saying you're professional. So,
I guess my alarm went off. But yeah, the way he was able to bring it and to do what he did in those 2 films that I worked with him on, it was amazing, man.
Right, yeah, that's incredible. What's your name? I know you touched the rapping and all that. Who are some of your favorite rappers? Do you got a top 5?
My favorite rapper of all time, I'm gonna have to say Jay-Z, J. Cole. I'm gonna have to get some love to Wale because he's from the DMV. Who else? A lot of people might not agree with this, but Kanye West, man, he's his whole journey, just where he come from and how he started. I know he has some things about him. He's very controversial at the moment, but I mean, as a lyricist and what he was able to create his career. I take my hat off to him. I mean, he's a great MC. Right. And I'm gonna have to go. I don't have to say. Probably I'm gonna have to go with the best rapper alive, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, okay.
Weezy.
Okay, all right.
Lil Wayne for president.
Okay, all right. Man, you from the DC, born and raised in DC, man, and obviously, we've been plagued with a lot of crime, a lot of carjacking. What's your perspective? Do you have any thought on what we can do to try to, calm it down a little bit, or do you got any, intake or perspective on what's going on?
I think I just think overall our generation and our young men and our young ladies, because sometimes it's not just the men out here, there's the ladies too. They get caught up in the midst of what's, I'm gonna say, negative behavior, because we can be better than who we are,
right?
And we need to get better. We need to understand that life is short. If we lived our life like we were going to die, because a lot of times we don't live as if we're ever going to die. We always feel like we're going to be here on earth, but that's not the case. And if we understood that, then we would do better. We would understand that our time on earth is running out. So if our time on earth is running out, then we need to be better humans and be better examples of how we're supposed to live while we're here on this planet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And if that clock was running out, and if we understood that, then we would do what we need to do to show love and work and put in the time and energy to be better, and to be able to create greatness out of ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It's almost the saying, they say, live every day like it's your last day. So kind of like,
Gandhi said, live as if you're going to die tomorrow, learn as if you're going to live forever.
Gandhi, that's a hell of a statement right there. Repeat that one time.
Live as if you're going to die tomorrow, like I just said. Learn as if you're going to live forever, meaning and when you hear to learn as if you're going to live forever, that means like continue to educate yourself and have an understanding of what's going on, and to empower yourself with wisdom so that you can be fully equipped and be able to live in this world and be successful.
You're Pro Bowl tight end, ultimate professional. Give me your top 5 tight ends of all time.
Top five tight ends of all time. From number 1, I'm gonna have to say Rob Gronkowski. Then I'll go to Shannon Sharp. I had to put my boy Travis Kelce in there because he's won 3 Super Bowls. Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez. That's my top 5.
So what would you go in if you had a list? Would you be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Where would you put yourself if you had to put you in a spot?
I would put myself at number, I'd say probably 7.
7.
7 all time. Yeah, I put myself on number 7. I'll be in that top 10 for sure.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm be in that top 10.
Yeah.
If they go back and look at all the stats, there's a lot of little things and little details that I think people don't see that my mentor was shared with me, and I was like, oh man, I didn't know I was like in that. I didn't know I was in that category of those stats, which is like a historical landmark for me. But you know, those things I never really talk about because I was always told not to talk about myself.
But Dad, not my next question from, but I'm gonna have to ask it anyway. Do you think you're gonna get a gold jacket at some point?
Do I think I deserve a gold jacket? Yes, I think I deserve a gold jacket based on the things that the marks that I've been able to hit in certain categories when it comes to being number 7 or number 8 all time in touchdowns. Having the most touchdowns in playoff history. Just those categories. If you go look at those, I'm in there. So I think I definitely deserve that, with all due respect and from a humble place. I feel like I really.
I know your mentor. Look, but he got to say his shit, man. It's a mentor. Don't beat him up for that one, man. He got to put his stats out there, man. Got to put his stats out there, man. I've been to ask you earlier, playing the 49ers. You never got a chance to interact with none of the tech world people. I see when people go out there, and make some relationship with that. And all that.
Oh yeah, I've been. I've come from. I try to stay with all that I've learned and all the information that I've gained throughout my time of just learning how money works. I was able to cultivate relationships with like the world of tech. I put my money into private equity, private credit, real estate, just everything. So I've taken a more of a systematic approach where you don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing, right? And educated myself on how things work. So, yeah.
Okay. So what would you tell a 6th grade Vernon Davis now from your walk of life and all your experience? If you talk to another 6th grade Vernon Davis, what would you tell him?
I would tell a 6th grade Vernon Davis, I would say, make sure you cultivate relationships with people who are smarter than you, people who are surrounded by the world of business, the same way you would surround yourself with people who are in sports, right? And you would look up to them. I would say look up to those people the same way. I would treat it like that, because as an athlete, I'm looking at Michael Jordan, I'm looking at the Jerry Rices and those guys who are great at what they do in sports, right? So now I need to shift and I need to look at people who are great in the world of business and people who know how to really position themselves with their financial gains. So I need to have that same mindset, and I didn't as a kid growing up. And it's okay because I wasn't brought up like that. I didn't have those kind of people in my life. Which is great. I mean, it forces you to learn and get better, and that's what life is all about: trial and error. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not upset. I just wish I had somebody to tell me that, to think like that.
Right. Anything that I didn't touch on today that you might want to touch on? I know we talked about the book Playing Ball is coming out. You can purchase it now though on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
Okay. Yeah. And what's your social media handle?
At Vernon Davis 85. I'm on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Is anything we left out you want to touch on?
Yeah, maybe there's a film I got coming out. A film that I have coming out, possibly at the end of this year. It's with Steven Spielberg's daughter, Destry Spielberg. She's having a directorial debut. It's a great movie. I can't give away the film and tell you what my character truly is, because it's one of those surprise elements, and I don't want to take that away. But it's I had an opportunity to play a really dynamic character, probably one of the biggest characters.
You good? Yeah.
Probably I had an opportunity to play one of the biggest characters in that film, which I'm excited about.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be one of the biggest films I've done since been in the acting space.
Right. Okay. I also want to shout my man Brandon from Explore Black Business, man. You know, play an integral role in staying on top of you, man, doing follow-up for me and all that, man. And, you know, you gave your word you're going to come, man. And that's one thing that they can take from you, too, man. You know, obviously they heard your resume. They know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I seen, last time it seems coming out Warren Theater, I think they had something for BET. I don't know what it was down there. And you was going to shoot a joint in Africa, man. And you said you're going to come back, and I really appreciate that, man. You know, I just want to wish you the most continued blessings, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm definitely going to purchase the book today. Playing ball, man. I'll get that today. I'm interested to learn more about you, man. And, you know, before we close out, man, you know, I like to ask my guests, man, is there anything you want to ask the host or any questions you might want to have?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You, I mean, I got a lot of questions for you, man. Just like, well, I'm obviously here for a reason. My reason is to create, connect, share stories, and just give the audience something that they may not have known, or just everybody can take something away from everything. Right. And this is I appreciate you for bringing me here, but for you, you're obviously a pioneer. You know, everyone in D.C. and maybe outside of D.C. knows about you and your accomplishments and what you've brought to the city, and you brought a lot, man. How did you start your entrepreneurial journey? Like, give us some insight in that.
Where I was born and raised at Langston Terrace, Northeast D.C. It's historical grounds, and we have a historical golf course, Langston Terrace Golf Course. So at a young age, starting off caddying, when I started caddying down there and being around, like you said earlier, network of people, which I didn't know what I was doing then, but you had a lot of business owners that was golfing. So I'm doing a lot of air hustling, and I'm making money at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, I will transition to over across the street to where they had a crap house over top of a pool room. So I ran the stores for them. Again, entrepreneurship. So just hearing that, and then being a young age, that kind of spearheaded me to, you know, want to be an entrepreneur for a life.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that. You create an iconic brand throughout Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Can you tell us a little bit about that brand?
Oh yeah, all day clothing, man. Matter of fact, it's the 25th anniversary. This is 2024, so it's 26th anniversary now. But you know, being a big guy, you know what I'm saying? You know, being people who ain't a big guys, it's hard to find a lot of big stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I always into a little bit of fashion. You had clothing lines before me that was inspirational, also that, you know, gave me the inspiration to do it. So I just got into it, man, and just used my entrepreneurship skills, my relationship building. Guys like yourself, guys like Trey Kelly, guys like Michael Beasley, all the local guys that was, you know, playing the sports, you know, to lace them up, you know what I'm saying, in return. They gave me notoriety and gave credibility to my brand, and also me doing community stuff always. So I just kind of mixed everything up, you know what I'm saying? So like you spoke on earlier, how you did football, you worked on football, you made relationship, then you parlayed into acting, you parlayed into rapping, you parlayed into writing books. So just kind of did the same thing on the What's the Name, man, just push the brand out. But I tell people, I don't care if you're selling clothes or you're selling toothpicks, you got to do it like it's the last thing on earth. You got to love it like you love your kids, you know what I'm saying? You can't let nobody get in your head and tell you what they don't like about it, you know what I'm saying? It's your baby, you got to birth it and born it, you know what I'm saying, and raise it.
No, I appreciate that, man, because you take me back when I was a young man growing up in Washington, D.C., and I wore all days. I used to wear it all the time, and you gave me and everyone in D.C. something to live for. You gave us purpose. When I wore all days, I felt like I was a part of D.C. because it was created here, and I wanted to wear it everywhere. And I appreciate you for that. Right. You just had a 55th birthday. Yeah, you don't look 55. You look younger than me.
Oh yeah, no, I don't look that young.
What was that birthday like? What did you have going on? I mean, did you have people swinging from the ceiling? I mean, what was it like?
Man, we was out Martin Cross Wind, man. We had like about 16, 1700 people. We stopped it at that right there. We could have had 2,000, but the place was panicking that we didn't want to. They said they was basically threatening me to shut it down if we do overmuch, so we kind of stopped it right there. Man, buffet, cash bar, live entertainment with Scooby. Big G came as a guest, guy on the mic as a guest talker. A lot of love, man. A lot of pictures, man. You know, it was a moment like you hear the term, people should get their flowers when they born, while they living. But I actually experienced that in that moment right there. You know what I'm saying? You talking? The party was a 4-hour party. I never reached the back of the party because every single person I walked past wanted to take a picture. Wow. And it was just humbling, you know what I'm saying? The love, like people, as they take a picture, whisper in your ear, you don't know me, but you inspire me this, or you don't know me, this inspire me this. It's okay, I can kiss you on the cheek. Dudes, you know, men giving men compliments as a black man, sometimes that can be a little awkward because we so bred to be like, man, you over there, I'm over here. You a man, you know, I'm this. So to hear dudes, Slim, man, you a cold man, or this or that, man. My son, I told my son about stuff like that. So it was real humbling. It was a beautiful thing, man. It was a beautiful thing, man. It was a great moment. And then my kids got a chance to experience that because they never went to quote unquote Curtbone party, because I stopped throwing parties like about over 10 or 15 years ago. So now they're of age, they in it, so they able to live what they've been hearing over the years. So that was a beautiful thing too.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. No, I appreciate you for sharing that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. Appreciate you.
Definitely, man. So yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
My man, Vernon Davis, man. My man. Peace.
Out the park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah. Been a road,